السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to today's Ask Eman show, brothers and sisters. We're going to be here with you as usual live over the next hour to take your questions and get them answered for you authentically according to the Quran and Sunnah. So brothers and sisters, we're going to start with a reminder inshallah from Shaykh Wasim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. You caught me off guard there.
Yeah, quick one.
Yeah, usually have introduced and the telephone numbers and things like that. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to accept all from all the brothers and sisters. Contrary to popular knowledge, Ramadan is not over. The 27th night is past, but Ramadan is not over. We still have some nights left, some days left to fast. And I would encourage all the brothers and sisters to push right to the very end and show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that you're not in it just for the 27th night, that you're not in Ramadan just for a few nights a year, but rather you are displaying your servitude and your humbleness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala every single day of Ramadan. Remembering that the Prophet ﷺ did not do that, didn't just look for one night. The companions radiallahu anhum didn't look for one night. Rather, they would strive every night. And they would strive beyond Ramadan. And it's also important for us, I think, to think about, not too much at the moment, because we're still engaged in Ramadan, but have some goals about beyond Ramadan. It's good to plan as well. That we're not Muslims for 1 month a year. We're Muslims and serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 12 months a year. But the positives that you can take out of this month, then try to have them stay with you after this month. Whether it, if you're praying at home, because, many people say, well, I go to the masjid and I pray Tarawih there. Things are facilitated for you, things are on a plate for you. You don't have to do too much. However, if you've done it at home, if you prayed Tarawih at home, you prayed Qiyam at home, this is enough proof that you can do it outside of Ramadan, okay? And it doesn't have to be, everything facilitated for you, placed there for you. This is to show yourself, moreover, that you can do this. So establishing the night prayer from time to time. Nobody's saying you have to establish it every night. But from time to time, pray some Qiyamul Layl. It doesn't even have to be the last third of the night. Some of us think, well, if you want to pray early in the night, هذا جائز. That's absolutely allowed. If you want to pray some of the night prayer earlier, after Salat al-Isha, هذا جائز. That's allowed for you. The virtue in the last third, yes, is better. But maybe you can't get up early in the morning or a late part of the night, it's for whatever reason. And offer it earlier in the night, making dua to Allah Ta'ala. Point being that some of the good habits, some of the positives that you have established in this month, then try to keep them going somewhat, inshallah ta'ala, in the coming months. Starting with 6 days of Shawwal, if you can start with that, inshallah ta'ala. You should make your days up first from if are any missing from Ramadan, make those up first. And then follow them up with 6 days of Shawwal, and then you have the reward of an entire year, which is an amazing opportunity for us. So these are some things that I was just thinking about, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is best.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. So, Assalamu alaikum. We're going to go now to our first caller of the show. Assalamu alaikum to our brother or sister. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Wa alaikum salam.
MashaAllah. What's your name?
Hafsa.
How are you, Hafsa? How are you? Would you like to ask your question?
I'm good, thank you.
Alhamdulillah. If you're listening to me through your TV, use your phone instead, okay? Otherwise, the sound is going to be very delayed and we're not going to hear each other.
Yeah.
Yeah? Thank you so much, Hafsa. And your question?
Is playing chess haram?
Okay, then. Do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay, so you can stay on the line for your answer, or you can hang up and listen on your TV, inshallah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, with regards to chess and those games, which, for a couple of issues, involve the building of these little characters. It's disliked to play. Many of the ulama, they say it is disliked to play chess. And if you can find another kind of game, it is not haram. I'm not saying that you're sinful for playing it, but it's disliked to play. And if you avoid it, the thing is with disliked, if you avoid it for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're rewarded for that. Okay? So it's disliked according to many of the ulama. And Ibn al-Qayyim, rahimahullah, very famous scholar, he has a book called the name will come to me, but he has a book about games, enjoying yourself, and things which will benefit you as well. And he mentions about shatranj. In Arabic it's called ash-shatranj. So the majority of the ulama, they dislike it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is best.
Oh, okay. Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Hafsa, you still on the line? Okay, young Hafsa's gone. But I think you said you didn't have any more questions. So we're going to move on. So brothers and sisters, for everyone watching at home, if you'd like to give us a call and ask your questions, then you call us on 0203 515 0769. And now I think we have another caller on the line. So assalamu alaikum to our brother or sister. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, brother. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, brother. How are you?
I'm very well, jazakallah khair. And your question?
Brother, I've got two questions. First question is basically, if you're in the same room with your mahram, and there's other non-mahrams and the husbands with you in the same room, is it permissible for you to have a conversation with them whilst you're in the same room? But as far as I know, I've heard from one of the scholars' lectures that basically if you encourage your mahram to mix with non-mahrams, then you're not a man. And my second question is basically regarding the Fard Salahs, praying at home. Normally I know Maghrib, Fajr and Isha, the Fard Salahs, you need to recite it loudly. If you don't recite it loudly, do you get the same sawab, or it's the Prophet's sunnah that we follow when we recite loudly?
Thank you so much, my brother. Do you have any more questions?
No, that's it, brother.
May Allah bless you. So, brother, you can tune into your TV, inshallah, to listen to the answers, or you can stay on the line. For everyone else watching at home, you can give us a call on 0203 515 0769 to ask your questions, inshallah.
Right, so this is an important question since the Eid is coming up and families, well, actually with the lockdown, maybe it won't happen. But if there is social distancing, is followed, which is the guidelines that are given to us. So we'll talk in general, that in Islam we do have guidance or guidelines concerning the interaction of a son and his parents or her parents, okay, a daughter. And likewise, there's guidance between those brothers and sisters, there's guidance between husband and wife, how we should interact with one another. There's also guidance concerning how we will interact with non-mahram people, between the males and the females, okay? And we find in Islam that there isn't an open mixing of the males and females who are not related in this manner. This is the guidance that Allah Ta'ala gave to us. Now, this doesn't prevent a person going shopping, going about their normal business from day to day. No, what you need to do, you need to do. But with regards to, and we don't want to cover this with, oh, it's family, it's keeping up family ties, and then there's fitna occurring. Meaning that and it can happen. Let's not be, it doesn't happen, we're family and whatnot, we're cousins and things like that, or the distant relatives. Islam looks to prevent things from starting from a very long way. Doesn't allow things to fester or doesn't allow things to be brought about. So what I would say is that it is better to have the males and the females who are not mahram to have their own space. Okay? And if there's a passing in home and this and that, assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, how are you? Alhamdulillah, I'm fine and whatnot. Okay, no problem, inshallah ta'ala. I'm not saying that everyone has to kind of like shy away and, oh, astaghfirullah, in your home and somebody's visiting you. No one's saying be rude. No one's saying being disrespectful, okay? But there are some guidelines which inshallah ta'ala can allow everybody to enjoy their own time and their space, bi-idhnillahi ta'ala.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Thank you so much. Our next question is going to be from WhatsApp. But I believe the brother asked the second question, which was about, I think we'll come back to it once I remember it. Do you remember it, Shaykh?
My mind's gone blank, actually.
Yeah, I know he said something about, do you get the same reward?
Yeah, I got it. Yep.
Yeah.
So, the brother's asking with the loud prayers.
That's it.
So, Fajr, Maghrib and Isha, the Sunnah, the practice of the Prophet ﷺ is to say them out loudly. Now, when I say loudly, it's not like that there is a volume, okay, that there is quiet and there is loud, like 1 and there is 10. If you think about, how loud you can speak. It's not either 1, Dhuhr, Nasr, and then shouting and loud as you can for the other prayers. No. What I mean when we say louder prayers or audible prayers, maybe it's probably a more appropriate word, audible. And that is that as I'm speaking now, or as you're speaking to yourself, you will start reciting like this. Okay? And so that if there's anybody praying with you, that they can hear you. But with regards to Salat al-Dhuhr and Asr, that they're said very, very quietly. So that maybe just yourself can hear. Okay? This is the practice of the Prophet ﷺ, to say them out audibly, loud, that you can hear. If a person prayed them quietly, the prayer is valid, number one. But you have abandoned the Sunnah. You have not practiced what the Prophet ﷺ taught us. Now it really goes back to that person now, why they are praying them quietly. If it is that they are intentionally and always then praying them quietly, yes, the prayer is valid, inshallah, but you are leaving the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And this should not be done, especially with regards to the prayer. When we have been told by the Prophet ﷺ, prayers you have seen me praying. If it was done as a one-off by mistake or whatever the case may be, okay, no problem. But in the future, you should pray the prayer as we were taught, and not for you to pray as you like. So these prayers that are said out loudly should be said audibly, that you can hear yourself quite clearly, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is best.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Our next question, after our next call. So assalamu alaikum to our next caller of the show. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. To yourself and Shaykh Wasim Kempson.
Assalamu alaikum, my brother. How are you today?
Alhamdulillah, how are you both?
Alhamdulillah. Remind me of your name. It's
Ahmad Farid from Birmingham.
That's it, mashallah. How's your Ramadan been so far?
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Just probably 2 more left, but alhamdulillah.
Yeah, subhanallah,
Mashallah.
it's already gone. May Allah accept from us.
Ameen thumma ameen, inshallah.
And your question, brother?
My question is regarding the 6th fast of Shawwal, inshallah ta'ala. What is the evidence from the practice of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And should those be 6 days consecutively, or could they be spread over the whole month of Shawwal, inshallah ta'ala?
Okay. Do you have any other questions, my brother?
That's it for the time being, inshallah. And Eid and Sa'id if we don't have a chance to talk with him.
Jazakallah khair. May Allah accept from us. Jazakallah khair. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're going to move on to our next caller now. Brother Muhammad Tariq, we're going to get to your question after our next call, inshallah. So, assalamu alaikum to our brother or sister on the line. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm calling from Birmingham.
And your question?
I've got 2 questions.
You can go ahead.
Sorry for that.
It's alright, take your time, that's fine.
Stage right.
Oh, yeah. When you pray and you come across these verses to talk about the adab and others to talk about Jannah, can you seek refuge, say, Allah protect me from Jahannam whilst praying, saying it in Arabic?
Okay.
And the other question is, I've heard that maqamat are not accessible in Islam. You can't read the Quran in maqamat. But are you allowed to listen to it?
To listen to the Quran being recited in maqamat?
Listen to reciters who recite maqamat.
Okay. Alright then. Do you have any other questions?
No, that's it.
Okay, sorry sister, what was your second question? Your first question?
Can you listen first?
Your
First question, second.
First one.
It's when you're praying and you come across verses that talk about Jahannam, can you seek Okay.
Sorry, a bit tired today. I'm not remembering questions very well.
No problem.
As soon as they said, my memory goes blank. Thank you so much for your call. May Allah reward you. So just stay tuned, inshallah, and our Shaykh will answer your question. So our first question, Shaykh, was from Muhammad Tariq from Birmingham. Hamad Tariq, sorry. From Birmingham regarding how to fast the 6 days of Shawwal.
So the Prophet ﷺ in a sound hadith said, whoever fasts Ramadan and then ثم أتبعه ستة من شوال and then follows it up with 6 days of Shawwal, then they have the reward of a dahr, of the entire year. Understanding this hadith, number one, is that it is allowed for you to start fasting these days of Shawwal the day after Salat al-Eid. So the 2nd of Shawwal, you can start fasting these days. Secondly, is that they do not need to be 6 days consecutive, meaning that you can fast them every other day, 3 in one go, and then 3 later, or in twos. You have the whole month to fast these 6 days in a way that you find easy. Most people, and the advice that they have given, is that after fasting Ramadan, that the quicker you fast these days of Shawwal, the better, the easier it is. When I say the better, the easier it is for you. Because obviously we're in the fasting kind of mode at the moment. And alhamdulillah, we fasted, like, the 27th day for us. So if you have 1 day off for Salat al-Eid, even a couple of days off, no problem. But to get back into the fasting kind of routine is a good thing. It's easier for you to then make those 6 days, as opposed to a person delays and gets used to eating and things. You have to kind of start again. And then they go through the kind of pangs of hunger, if you like, or if they find fasting difficult, that is. And bearing in mind that as you go later now, the days might be getting a little bit longer. So there's an extra incentive there, maybe for you, if you want to finish the days quicker, to do it because the days will be shorter. Allahu A'lam.
Thank you, Shaykh. Our next question was about seeking refuge from the verses when you recite them in your salah or when they're about the hellfire.
So Aisha narrates this, the wife of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the Qiyam, that whenever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would pass by ayat of al-azab, he would seek refuge in Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. And when to do with an-na'im, to ask Allah Jalla wa to bless him and grant him that. So this is a sound practice of the Prophet alayhi salam. So if a person does that in their nafila prayer, then this is allowed for them, inshallah.
Thank you, Shaykh. Our next question was regarding the recitation style of maqamat.
Yeah.
Are you allowed to listen to it?
Yeah, so in brief, the maqamat are the different modes, the different ways of reciting in terms of the way that you are going to, the sounds, the tone, the melody, if you like, how the Quran will be recited. There's different views concerning that. But listening to it, it is the Quran. At the end of the day, it is the Quran. There's no changing any meanings, or it is adhering to tajweed and whatnot. So regarding that, then inshallah ta'ala, it is permissible for you to listen to that. Allahu ta'ala.
Thank you, Shaykh. This question, Shaykh, is from my ignorance, because I'm from Morocco. We don't have maqamat there.
Right.
And over here as well, I know Quran to be a certain style, listening to it from Mecca,
Yeah.
Growing up, and then here as well when I learnt it. So just where does maqamat come from, and is it permissible? I'm not saying,
Yeah.
the question is, like I said, from my ignorance.
Yeah, so the maqamat is an area of ilm which is, again, is not a speciality of mine. But it is to do with the melodious nature of how you will recite the Quran. There are different views. As you say, certain countries don't do that. Egypt is very well known.
Yeah.
Different Egyptian qurra are aware of the different types of maqamat, meaning different melodies that you will recite the Quran. With regards to its origins and things like that, I mean, Allahu A'lam, to be honest, I don't know. But, there's some scholars have spoken about it, with its origins. and whether it is falls into areas of a takalluf, or it falls into area of over emphasizing some of the way that the Quran is recited. The scholars have spoken about that, but at the end, I mean, they are reciting Quran. There's no changing in the words that have been said from Kitab Allah, from the Book of Allah Jalla wa Ala. The ahkam of tajweed, or the rulings of tajweed are being implemented. So from that perspective, it's okay, not a problem. It's just with regards to the melodious nature, whether that falls into excessiveness, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is best.
Thank you, Shaykh. Just to clarify again, it was just from my ignorance. Maqamas is very beautiful to listen to. There's great reciters of the past that are well revered and respected. But again, just not to make things complicated for everyone watching at home, just wanted to clarify, Shaykh, that we are speaking about something different than the 10 qira'at.
Yeah, we're not talking about
just in case there's...
not I'm talking about from the melodious nature.
Yeah.
The way that it is actually, the words are said in terms of how the person will recite. Not the words themselves, the melodious nature of it.
Yeah. So there's the maqamis, there's the qira'at. The qira'at is more different styles, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. We're going to move on to our next question. So, assalamu alaikum to our next caller. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Lana and I am calling from Aberdeen.
MashaAllah. And how old are you?
8 years old.
8 years old. How much of Ramadan have you fasted so far?
I've managed to fast 3 whole days.
3 whole days. Wow. And these days, the fast is so long as well. Was that difficult?
Yeah, but it wasn't too difficult.
Oh, wow. Alhamdulillah, Allah made it easy for you. I found it quite easy myself as well. So we thank Allah for that, right?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. And your question?
I've got 2 questions, please.
Okay.
The first one is, why are there so many takbirs or Allahu Akbar during the Eid Salah?
Okay.
And the second question is, how do we perform the Eid prayer at home now that we are in the lockdown? Jazakallah khair.
How to perform Eid prayer in lockdown. All right then. Do you have any other questions?
No.
Okay, so you can either stay on the line to listen to your answer on the phone, or you can hang up and watch on your TV, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Why are there so many takbirat in Eid Salah, Shaykh?
Right, so very good question. And Sister Lana, her name is.
Yes.
She's called a few times before.
Yeah? MashaAllah.
And what the most outstanding feature of our young sister is her manners.
MashaAllah.
Absolutely impeccable manners, mashallah, tabarakallah. And that also is a reflection of what?
Parents.
Of parents, yeah. It's a reflection of good parents. So this is the most important thing, and this means so much to me, and it should for all of us as Muslims, in teaching our children to have manners.
SubhanAllah, correct.
And a child of 8 years old who presents themselves in such a confident and humble manner at the same time is a tribute, mashallah, to her parents. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless the family, every single one of them.
Ameen.
And to bless all Muslims.
Ameen.
And allow us to follow the way and the sunnah and the characters of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Ameen. Ameen.
So if we look carefully to the verses in Surah Al-Baqarah, in the verses of fasting, starts from around 183, verse 183. You go through the verses, and then we get to a verse where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةِ, and that you will complete this time, وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ, and that you will make mention of Allahu Akbar, magnifying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during these days. So on the day of Eid, before you reach the Eid prayer, what are people saying? They're saying, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, walillahi alhamd. And this is a good sunnah for all of us to practice, inshallah ta'ala, from the time of Maghrib.
Okay.
The night before, once we know, inshallah ta'ala, the Eid is going to be coming the next day, there's no Tarawih that night. Praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by saying lots and lots and lots of takbir. Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest, Allah is the greatest. Of course, we're going to say in Arabic, Allahu Akbar. But it's also important for you to understand what you are saying when you say Allahu Akbar. You're saying Allah is the greatest. Greatest what? Anything you can imagine in this universe, Allah is greater than that. And subhanAllah, the fact that we had patience, our young sister fasted 3 days. Many of us, we fasted for the whole month, part of the month. On the day of Eid, as the Prophet ﷺ said, this is a day of Eid, is a day of celebration. And it is for everyone, not one person on this day to go hungry. No one should have not in a situation where they got no food. Therefore, Zakat al-Fitr is given to everybody. Everybody will eat on this day. Everybody will be happy. And in the Salah as well, even in the Salah, we say Allahu Akbar. 7 in the first, 5 in the second. And this goes along with what I mentioned in the verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, وَلِتُكَبِّرُ اللَّهَ, and so that you will magnify the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's not the reason, but it's min al-hikam, it's from the wisdoms. And we can extrapolate and take from the verse that Allah tells us in the verses of fasting, that you will magnify by saying, magnify Allah Jalla wa Ala by saying Allahu Akbar, and this falls into the before Salah and also within your prayer. Wallahu a'lam.
Thank you so much, Shaykh. And the next question was, how do we perform Eid Salah during lockdown?
Okay, so but there are many views, okay, up to 4 different opinions actually with regards to Salat Eid, whether you pray it or you don't pray it, and if you do pray it, how you're going to pray it. You would pray it essentially, another view that you can pray it, and you pray as you would pray it if you go to the masjid or you go outside in a park. So in the first rak'ah, you will say Allahu Akbar 7 times, recite Surah Al-Fatiha, then you recite Surah Al-A'la, Sabbih Isma Rabbika Al-A'la, then you complete that rak'ah, and then you come up, and then you say Allahu Akbar 5 times, Surah Al-Fatiha, and then you recite Hal Ataka Hadith Al-Ghashiyah, Surah Al-Ghashiyah, and you finish the salah. And this is how you do, inshallah ta'ala.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Our next question is going to be from WhatsApp. For everyone watching at home, if you'd like to give us a call to ask your questions, then dial 0203 5150 769, and we actually have another caller on the line. So assalamu alaikum to our brother or sister on the line. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, sister. And your question?
I have 2 questions actually. One is health related and one is regarding Salah. So my first question is the nafil namaz, can you do it standing up or sitting down, or how is it recommended for you to pray and not sitting down? Because I've heard that you can do it sitting down, that you should do it sitting down, but others say that you can do it standing up. That's my first question.
Okay.
My second question is health related, and I don't know if you're able to answer it. I've got a 3-month-old baby who's been having constant tummy pains, and I've been trying to look for a dua that I can recite to make her feel better. I've tried every other medication that I can. Like I said, she's very young, but yeah, so I don't know if there's a dua that's recommended for babies for pains. That's it.
Stomach pain, yeah.
Bismillah.
All right then, sister. You can stay on the line to listen to your answer, or you can tune on your TV. Yeah? If you have any questions, if you want to stay on the line, if you want to follow up with any questions after that, you're very welcome to, inshallah.
Okay. So the first question was concerning the nafil prayer. Now, in the nafil prayer, which is the voluntary prayer, it is permissible for you to stand and pray and to sit down and pray. Bearing in mind, if you sit down and pray, they get nisf al-ajr, that you get half of the reward. Okay, but it is allowed for you, okay, in the nafil prayer. So if you want to stand, stand. If you want to sit down, you sit down. If you want to start standing as much as you can, and then you can't stand anymore, and you want to continue sitting down after that, then that's okay for you. As there is a well-known principle with regards to the nafil prayer, يَجُوزُ فِي النَّافِلِ مَا لَا يَجُوزُ فِي الْفَرِيضَةِ, that it is allowed for you to do certain things in the voluntary prayer that are not allowed in the obligatory prayer. The obligatory prayer is a bit more strict in what you can and you can't do. The nafil prayer, you are allowed to sit down, okay? But you get half the reward. And Allah is best.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. And regarding the stomach pain for the baby, sister would like to know, is there any dua for it?
So if you've got a baby who's 3 months old, it's likely they're suffering from colic.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah. So a lot of babies, they get this, and sometimes they get reflux and things like that, okay? So there is a couple of things. The first thing is to take necessary means that you can, it's not different causes, different reasons behind that. The doctors aren't exactly, they don't know why, Wallahu alam. Firm reason, there's a few kind of theories. But you can, there are some medicines that can be taken that may help with colic. Of course, I would advise you to take medical advice on that. I'm not a medical professional, but there are certain, things that may help. They may not help. And Allah knows best. Secondly, with regards to Islamic practice, like for any of us, Surah Al-Fatiha is a great thing for us to use with regards to Ash-Shifa. And one of the names of the Al-Fatiha is Ash-Shifa, the cure. So if you place your hand, and sometimes massaging the stomach can help, okay? And you place your hand over the area of pain, even for yourself or anyone, and you recite Surah Al-Fatiha an odd number of times, okay? After each recitation of Fatiha, that you blow like this, a spittle, on the area of where the person or the baby in this situation is feeling some discomfort. And you can do this, inshallah ta'ala, as regularly as you want to, seeking shifa, that Allah ta'ala will give ease and shifa to your baby. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless you, bless your family, bless your newborn baby, 3 months old, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes it easy for you. Ameen.
Ameen. Thank you so much, Shaykh. Sister, you still on the line? Okay, for everyone else watching at home, you're able to give us a call on 0203 5150 769 to ask your questions. You can also send your questions to our WhatsApp number, email address. If you're watching from outside of the UK, then you're able to give us a call using our WhatsApp number as well. The same one you can text your questions to. You can also use that to give us a call on as well, inshallah. So our next question, Shaykh, is going to be from WhatsApp, and our question is, will taking an injection as medication break my fast?
So it depends what the injection is for. So I can't answer, can an injection? It really depends what you're taking. If you're taking some form of vaccination, then it's fine, it doesn't break your fast. If you're taking some form of, if it's a painkiller, then it's okay as well. If you're taking insulin as well, it's okay, inshallah ta'ala. So these are okay. So with injections, there might be intravenous ones where the person is being supplied with a water bag, or with a kind of, what they call it, through intravenous. That's a different issue. So it's a very broad question. It can include many things, but the three that I did mention, it doesn't break your fast. If it's not one of those, then maybe you can ask a personal knowledge that you can explain what the situation is, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Our next question is, do you have to pay zakat on pension contributions? If zakat was paid for an amount of gold, I think there's a number of questions here. So that's the first one,
yeah. So with the pension, is that the one you're going to collect upon retirement. And then up until that time, you don't have access to that wealth. So therefore, you don't have the ability to use it. So there's no zakat on it. You start paying zakat when you receive it. And that's when you pay 1 year on it, inshallah ta'ala.
Thank you, Shaykh. Next question, if zakat was paid for an amount of gold only to later find out the rate of gold was incorrect and I should have paid a higher amount. I already gave charity thinking my zakat was paid. Do I have to pay the additional difference, or will the charity I paid after be okay without making the intention for the zakat?
Okay. So with regards to ibadah, with regards to worship, it's not just the action doing it, but what precedes that is the intention. Okay. Now, because your intention was to give some zakah, and then the other intention was for sadaqah, we cannot retrospectively go back and say, well, the sadaqah would cover the zakah that I missed out on. Okay. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you back more. But because your intention was for sadaqah, you will now be required for whatever short amount you have with regards to your zakah, you will need to pay that, inshallah ta'ala. And don't forget, وَمَا أَنفَقْتُم مِّن شَيْءٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ يُخْلِفُهُ. Whatever you spend, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you back more. Okay? So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from you. Ameen.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Our next question, Shaykh, is how can someone pay zakatul fitr when mosques are closed?
Yeah, so Zakat al-Fitr, a lot of people just, and I think the whole Zakat al-Fitr kind of setup we have in the UK needs to be looked at. I'll be honest with you. The whole setup for Zakat al-Fitr needs to be relooked at. Maybe 90% of people, they turn up in the morning before Salat al-Eid and put £5 in a box. And that's it. Now, yes, you have to give Zakat al-Fitr before Salat al-Eid. Now, but the correct view, and Allah knows best, is that Zakat al-Fitr can be paid in the form of money with the view that that money is then going to be used to purchase food to feed poor people. Okay, you're not putting money in people's hands with the Zakat al-Fitr. So I think, I mean, it's not necessarily the time to do that now. And the answer was, what can I do? And I'm going on a bit more, but you can choose a charity, an online charity. There are many online charities, trustworthy online charities, where you can pay your Zakat al-Fitr a couple of days in advance. And I would suggest you do that. And seeing that Eid maybe is on Saturday or Sunday, what, today is Wednesday? Okay, so maybe, this evening onwards, you can pay your Zakat al-Fitr, inshaAllah ta'ala. We've got into the next day. It will be the 28th. I know others are a day behind, alhamdulillah. But for them to bear in mind that you can pay your Zakat al-Fitr a little bit early, by 1 or 2 days. Give it to those charities so that they can ensure, inshaAllah ta'ala, that food can be purchased and given to the fuqara and masakeen, can be given to the poor and destitute. Okay? So there are many solutions. The fact that the masjid isn't open, no problem. In fact, I would recommend that if you can't do it, physically can't do it yourself, give the food that you're going to buy and give it to the poor people. Then give it to somebody in enough time that they can purchase food and give it to the poor people, inshallah ta'ala.
Thank you, Shaykh. Our next question is going to be from our callers. So, assalamu alaikum to our brother or sister on the line. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Assalamu alaikum. My name's Annika. I'm calling from London. My question is it permissible to donate our organs once we die?
Okay, do you have any other questions?
No other questions.
Okay, thank you so much for your call. Stay tuned with us, and then the Shaykh will give you answer shortly after our next caller, inshallah.
Yes.
So, assalamu alaikum to our next caller. Welcome to the show. What's your name and where are you calling from? Assalamu alaikum to our next caller. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alaikum salam.
And your question?
Why is shaitan only locked up in Ramadan and not any time else?
Okay, do you have any other questions for us?
No, thank you.
Thank you so much for your call. Jazakallah khair. Do you remember the first question, Shaykh?
Yes, organ donation.
Yes.
Yes. So the sister, may Allah bless her, asked about organ donation. Is it allowed after a person passes away for them to donate their organs? There is big discussion now about organ donation, and to cut to the end, inshallah, it's allowed with certain conditions. Conditions like, you can't get involved in something where you're going to sell your organs. It's not allowed. And that the person themselves gives permission. Okay? But inshallah ta'ala, it is allowed for you to donate your organs. There is the dispute amongst the ulama, but Allah knows best. It's allowed for you to do that, inshallah ta'ala.
Jazakallah khair, Shaykh. Next question was regarding the shaitan. Why is the shaitan only locked up during Ramadan? Why not the entire time?
Yeah. So we need to understand first and foremost that this month of Ramadan is a very special month, and it is special for a number of reasons. The gates of paradise are opened, the gates of Jahannam are closed, that the marad al-shayateen, that the big shayateen, they are locked up. Okay? The big shayateen. Not every single shaitan is locked up in Ramadan. So the qareen, i.e. the shaitan that is assigned to you and I, and to every single person, they are still there, and they may try to still influence you in the month of Ramadan. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands that the major shayateen, that they are locked up, to make it easy for us to protect us from more harm in this month. So it allows us to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala easier. Okay? So Allah Jalla wa does many things in this blessed month of Ramadan to facilitate ease for us. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Again, these verses, they fall all in the same area of fasting. The verses in Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allah Jalla wa ala wants ease for you and doesn't want difficulty for you. So therefore Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala facilitates and makes things so easy for us. So in the month of Ramadan, to make things easy, some of the main shayateen, they are locked up. Okay? They are locked up. This is from the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If they were locked up, all shayateen were locked up the whole year, then that lessens the test that is given to us. But the point is, this is a life that we have tests, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will test us in different ways. And from them, at times shayateen will come to us. Wallahu a'lam.
Thank you so much, Shaykh. Jazakallah khair for your answer. I think this brings us to the end of our show. Thank you so much, Shaykh, for joining us today.
Barakallahu feek.
It's not going to be our last show for Ramadan, right, Shaykh?
No, we have another one.
We still have Friday.
I hope so.
I hope so. Could it be Friday Eid or
Well, but
Saturday?
they'll be looking out. I don't know, but I say I hope so because I want Ramadan to be 30 days, so we have more days, inshallah.
No, I feel the same.
No.
So may Allah give us that. I mean, thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in today. We'll be back at the next time, which is at the same time at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock, Shaykh?
Inshallah.
For now, assalamu alaikum. Yeah, my memory's messing up today, Shaykh.